Brother worked 39 years, heir screwed out of his pension by union. My younger brother, 60M, worked 39 years for Roseburg Lumber, Coquille, OR and retired on May 1. He met with the union retirement personnel early May to get his paperwork in and set up 5 years, certain life, so his stepdaughter would get at least 5 years of his retirement payments. Approximately $84,000. If he died before it was all paid out. His first payment was due June 1. But he died in a car accident May 17. Fidelity Investments, on advice from the Carpenters Union, said he was not in pay. So all pension funds were ineligible. They paid him by direct deposit on the 1st of June 22. But immediately reversed the transaction and took the money back. Worked his entire life and they are screwing his daughter out of his payments. Edit. My brother was unmarried at death. Wanted his stepdaughter to have the money but hadn't set up a trust for her yet. She's not his legal heir. My mom is. But we want stepdaughter to have the money. Per his wishes. He didn't list a beneficiary because he wanted to set up a protected trust for her. Figured he had time to do so. Sadly, he did not. I guess the moral of this story is, don't procrastinate on your legal paperwork. Thanks for all of the people who provided great advice on reaching out to Oregon polls and the ag. I will pursue this. Sue them to hell, they made the payment even if they reversed it. I hate policies like this. I happen to work in pension administration for a company that administers pension plans for other corporations. Fidelity is one of our competitors. So I do have some knowledge to share on this subject. Every single pension plan I've seen, well over 100 different plans at this point in my 15-year career, has it written into their plan documents that if someone dies before the calendar date of their first pension payment, even if they've already completed their election forms to retire, that election becomes null and void and the death provisions of the plan take over. And unfortunately, a majority of pension plans tend to have the benefit be forfeited if the deceased is not married at their death. What you need to check is his pension paperwork and see if it states his benefit commencement date is 5/1 or 6/1. If his BCD is 5/1, they should have to pay the 5 years of the pension out. If it was 6/1, unfortunately your niece is likely hosed. My condolences on your loss. And I'm sorry that the pension plan doesn't have pre-retirement death provisions payable to a non-spouse beneficiary. Based on your description, less than edited to fix a typo. Where the hell are his union brothers and sisters? This would have my brothers and sisters howling for blood. Not for me or mine, but what's going on with that pension that they can't make this right? I'd be getting a copy of all paperwork your brother signed off on. Had to have already been approved and legally binding. Most things nowadays have to end in lawsuits. There is not other way about it. Win the lawsuit and ask for extra for your burdens and win. America the Beautiful. He retired and because he died just before they had to start paying pension they are withholding it. So despite the years he paid they are not gonna pay back his pension? Contact the union rep of the local. Retain an attorney for this as well. Gather all the docs. Best of luck to you. Roseburg Lumber. Not the first bad thing I've heard about them. I used to live in Roseburg. So take that as you will. When it came to screwing workers in a money sense. But this is just vile. In addition to a lawsuit, you could see if you can talk with Jeff Merkley. Call up to his office. You'll get an aide, but if you give them the story, Merkley might just call you back. He corresponded with my dad a lot before he passed away. He may know some resources you could use to help make matters right. Or might even lean on them himself. Depending. It's not a clear shot, but it's plausible. Merkley's been a pretty decent ally of the little guy, at least when we lived up there. You should definitely contact the local news. This is a story that will get picked up here. Put the pressure on. There is a federal agency devoted to this. Look up the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation. Roseburg Lumber, Coquille, OR you said? I'll get the pitchforks and fire. I'm sorry to hear about your brother. My condolences. He sounds like he was a damn hard worker and a great guy. I hope you can find a way to claim what ought to be yours. Net even for the money. But because those were the dying wishes of your brother. Best of luck and keep your chin up. She's going to need a good lawyer. This is why 401k became the modern choice for retirement funds, as pensions are basically annuities. Many were underfunded, and if the company went out of business, the assets of the pension funds were at risk. Not exactly the same situation, but 401k belonged to the estate of the deceased. Pensions and Social Security are not. Get a lawyer. You're going to need one. My pension has a beneficiary. His may also. In case I die before I am able to draw my pension, my beneficiary gets all that I have put in plus half of what they matched. But none of the gains off of that money. It's quite possible the pension admin knows this and that number is less than the 5 years of payout. There should be a copy of his pension so you can look into beneficiary status. This is the one problem with pensions. With a 401k, IRA, 457b, if you die before utilizing any of it, it's at least still there and gets passed on. The downside is they are basically tied to the stock market, so your gains or losses vary wildly. Pensions work best when you live a long time after retirement. In an ideal world, everyone would have a pension plus investments you can pass on if you die. That way not all your eggs are in the same basket. Also, pensions really should have you set your elections before you actually retire, so there's no gap in elections versus possible death. Earl Blumenauer and Peter DeFazio will get on this. On advice from the Carpenters Union, can you go into this a little?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.